family of 6 has lost their rural home following a fire northwest of Scottsbluff Thursday morning. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, Scottsbluff Rural Fire was dispatched around 9 a.m. yesterday for a report of a fire in the attached garage of a home on the northeast corner of County Roads 19 and H. Fire Chief Carissa Schenk tells KNEB News flames had spread into the home and the occupants sleeping inside were awakened by smoke and evacuated before units arrived. The Gering, Mitchell, and Morrill rural fire departments were called for mutual aid, and Valley Ambulance was on scene, on standby in case of injuries. However, Schenk says there were none. She says firefighters attacked the flames from both inside and outside the structure, but by the time the fire was under control several hours later, the structure suffered significant damage. Schenk says the state fire marshal determined the cause to be an electrical circuit overloaded by a space heater in the garage, and that the loss was total estimated at $175,000 to the home and contents. Firefighter Ministry was on scene and provided the family with vouchers to meet their immediate housing, food, and clothing needs. American Red Cross representatives were also advised of the victim's loss. Well, Scottsbluff County Commissioners on Tuesday night gave the go-ahead for a new 5-year contract with Small Computer Solutions, LLC, for continued operation of the county Keno game. The approval of the new agreement with an additional 5-year renewal option came with a number of conditions. Before the vote, Ryan Keller explained some of the changes that have taken place at the main Keno location on Avenue I and Beltline in Scottsbluff.
We have all of Scottsbluff County is now on the Optima system. So what that lets us do is a player can take a ticket from any restaurant, any bar in Scottsbluff County and replay it, cash it out, whatever they want to do with it. Right. And we've also gone to, as of January 1st, we are on pilot. It has been on a monthly pay scale for almost 20 years.
Approval included conditions to negotiate and clarify contract language regarding letters of credit, reserve account usage, and the terms if the operator seeks a partner to run the games. The board also discussed the related property lease, expressing a desire for that contract to be aligned with the same dates in the future and ultimately be part of the operator contract. We'll have more news right after this.
Swipe right, swipe left, endlessly searching. Finding the perfect match isn't always perfect, but it can be when it comes to finances. Nora found the perfect business loan. Jenny opened her first savings account. Grammy loves her checking account. We found a match for Wilson Farms. The Sandersons were matched with a mortgage. Regardless of your financial situation, Platte Valley Bank will match you with the perfect solution. Find your match at Platte Valley Bank.
Life Care promises us that we are looked after and taken care of properly.
If I didn't have Life Care, I would be probably scared to death about having enough money for when I got older or when I got sick.
Moving in here was an easy decision and in fact a no-brainer. I looked at it as actually buying long-term care insurance and in retrospect a good move.
One of the things that convinces me that we did the right thing is no matter what happens, we will constantly be taken care of.
The whole thing is just vital because you don't have to be worried about what's ahead for you. It's there, it's in black and white, and that's reassuring.
This is home. It has been from the day I moved in.
Welcome back. Governor Jim Pillen was joined this week by a group of state lawmakers to unveil a package of tax relief measures intended to make the state more competitive. One measure would gradually lower individual and corporate income tax rates to 3.99% by 2027, with another creating the Opportunity Scholarship Act, which would provide tax credits for private school choice, focusing on low-income residents and others without taking money from public schools. Senator Joni Albrecht highlighted yet another measure, the Agricultural Value Fairness Act.
And it'll change the tax valuation market-based valuation to an income potential valuation. The proposed fair income-based property valuation structure will rely on productivity and income potential of the land. The income-based taxation is sound policy and leads to a more fair and equitable assessment. This creates stability and predictability for agricultural assessments.
The overall package also includes a bill to phase out property taxes for community colleges by 2027 and replacing them with funding from the state. Pillen says he had to say no to many other fund requests to put together a package to have a real impact on the future of Nebraskans. Well, an 84-year-old Goshen County man has died as a result of injuries suffered in a UTV rollover accident this week. The Wyoming Highway Patrol says troopers were notified of a fatal crash west of Fort Laramie on Wednesday around 8:45 a.m. Investigation determined that Maurice Jepson was westbound on a service road parallel to the railroad tracks on a Kubota UTV. He was assisting in the movement of cattle in the area and failed to notice a mound of gravel on the roadway. The UTV collided with the gravel and overturned. Jepson was not wearing a seatbelt and succumbed to his injuries at the crash scene. And a Gering traffic stop that was initiated due to a burned-out headlight has resulted in a lengthy prison sentence. Back in February, 32-year-old Lorenzo Hernandez Cisnero of Greeley was caught with a loaded 9mm handgun, just over a pound of methamphetamine. In October, a Scottsbluff County jury found him guilty on all charges, including a Class 1B felony charge of possession of methamphetamine more than 140 grams. Last week in Scottsbluff County District Court, he was sentenced to a total of 20 years in prison by District Judge Leo Dobrovolny.
Fly United Airlines, operated by SkyWest with Western Nebraska Regional Airport. United is dedicated to going the extra mile for you with daily flights to and from Denver, along with a commitment to excellent service. Reserve your flight today, and remember, United miles can be earned and redeemed with your flights. While at the airport, stop and enjoy authentic Italian food at Roma Italian Restaurant. Plus, Hertz Thrifty Car Rental is there for your car rental needs. Make life easier, relax, and get on board with Western Nebraska Regional Airport.
Welcome to Kelly's, home of the Valley's best selection of wine, spirits, and beer. Whether you're brand loyal to the tried and true brew or really enjoy trying something different and new, Kelly's has something for everyone. Family owned and operated and right on your way on West 27th Street in Scottsbluff. Kelly's Liquor. If you can't find it at Kelly's, it's not worth drinking.
The Evergreen Credit Card by FNBO. Earn unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase. Every day. Everywhere. Never worry about expiring points or category restrictions. Plus, there's no annual fee. Only from the Great Big Small Bank. A bank ever ready for you to earn more, wherever life leads. Evergreen by FNBO.
This is KNEB.TV Ag News from the FNBO Ag Desk. FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank.
We have officially wrapped up our time here in Portland, Oregon at the 2023 Nebraska Wheat Board Wheat Export and Marketing Workshop, again sponsored by the Nebraska Wheat Board. We are joined now by Colby Reason. He is a grain merchandiser with Farmers Cooperative based in Hemingford. Well, Colby, let's wrap up. Kind of a two-day trip. We wrapped it up today. What were some of the highlights from your perspective?
Thoroughly enjoyed the Marseille baking company this morning. We ate very well. I always enjoy that. I moved on to that United Grain Terminal. Really got a kick out of that. 1930s built elevator on half of it. Kind of reminds me of home, but it has also been updated and is very impressive what they can do with that place and what everybody does down this up and down this river. But saw them loading a barge today, 2.2 million bushels, 7 to 8 trains. I just thoroughly enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your perspective, back in Nebraska, you buy grain from local producers. Eventually that grain is shipped out, a lot of it, out here to the PNW and exported. How valuable is this experience of putting those two dots, drawing a line in between them and putting them together?
Very much enjoyed it. Ship a lot of our wheat this way, it seems. Didn't realize the importance that this outreach program has to the Southeast Asia region. I don't know that I appreciated those customers enough before this trip, and it's very interesting to see how much thought is put into what these end users or where these customers are at and what their preferences are.
Something else we heard was quality. That term was used repeatedly. Is that something you're thinking about back in Nebraska, or is that kind of a newer concept as you talk to the end users?
I think you always try to ship the best thing possible and find treat it as a commodity, and then I think you're right. I'm maybe more focused on the quality and the experience that this customer is after now, rather than just treating it as a commodity. Which, if it's a 12 Pro wheat train, you think about it that way, and there's more to it than that.
Yeah.
Yep.
What other takeaways are you going to have from this experience?
Just very thankful for this place and this wheat marketing center. I think they do a great job, and I'm going to push a few more folks out of my area to go next year. Maybe try to be back in 5.
Yeah. Great trip, no doubt. That's Colby Reason joining us out here in Portland, Oregon as we wrap up our time as part of this year's Wheat Marketing and Export Seminar.
The Evergreen Credit Card by FNBO. Earn unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase. Every day. Everywhere. Never worry about expiring points or category restrictions. Plus, there's no annual fee. Only from the Great Big Small Bank. A bank ever ready for you to earn more, wherever life leads. Evergreen by FNBO.
I really like how our OB department takes our limited amount of doctors and turns it into a strength. Even though we only have a couple of people, you get to know them well over your entire pregnancy. We have 2 state-of-the-art labor rooms that are new with our last addition. We have a couple of very nice postpartum rooms also right here in the hospital, so they can get as much time with mom and baby as possible.
Let's take a peek at what's happening on your weekend community calendar. Community Calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. Community strong with the people you know and trust.
You deserve to have a building that will last for generations. With more than 110 years of experience and thousands of satisfied customers, Morton Buildings is the industry leader you can trust. If you're planning for a garage, farm shop, horse barn, storage building for your RV, boat, or collectibles, there's no better time to buy. Contact your local Morton sales office or visit mortonbuildings.com to get started today.
Logos in Gearing is the place to get all of your school spirit gear, personalized gifts, and promotional items for your business and employees and banners for any special event. Logos is also the only place to stop for custom screen printing or embroidery. You can even design it yourself on their interactive website. Stop into Logos today. They'll design it, print it, and have it to you in no time. There's no job too big or small for Logos. That's Logos in Gearing.
At Platte Valley Bank, we want to help you plan for tomorrow while you enjoy today. Our personalized trust services can help you do just that. You've worked hard to build your legacy, and you want to make sure that gets passed on for generations to come. We offer the professional guidance necessary to ensure that happens, according to your wishes. We pride ourselves in being friendly and professional while offering a highly tailored full line of trust and estate planning services to accommodate you. You belong here.
And finally, tonight, the organizers of the Old West Balloon Fest have announced the dates for 2023, as well as the addition of a new event. Hot air balloons will once again fill the western Nebraska skies of Scottsbluff County, as this year's Old West Balloon Fest will run from August 7th through the 12th. New this year will be a kids' balloon camp aimed to teach children aged 5 to 13 about the science and mechanics of ballooning, and sign-ups will begin in April. Favorites of the opening night glow, sunrise launches will also be held once again, and Rural Radio will once again be presenting the closing night glow at Five Rocks Amphitheater. For more information about this year's festivities, go to www.theoldwestballoonfest.com. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great weekend. See you back here on Monday.